Welcome to the Know Before You Go Travel Show, where we share all the latest travel tips, tricks, and insights to make your next vacation the best one yet. So sit back, relax, grab a cocktail, and enjoy the show with Penyak Travel's George Penyak and our senior travel consultant, Janet Penyak.
Spilling your coffee and everything. What is up, everybody?
Hey, everyone.
Welcome back to another edition of the Know Before You Go Travel Show, and we've got a show for you today.
Yes, we do.
And we are bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. We are caffeinated this morning. We're getting up early and starting to do the podcast in the morning.
We've been doing the podcast in the morning.
Well, yeah. Well, a lot of times we do them on the weekends, you know. But
We're
starting really early in the morning, which is good.
Yes.
So we might need to get you a sippy cup for your coffee.
Yeah, I can't seem to get it all in there.
You are spilling it all over the studio, but that's okay.
Yes.
We can clean it up.
That's fine.
You're just so excited for the podcast.
That's right. Travel news.
Travel news. And again, a lot's changing. So we've been doing these travel news podcasts so we can keep everybody updated, and especially those that aren't booking with a travel agent. This is great information to have. And I think we have a lot of travel agents that listen to our show as well. And I think it's good because, I mean, with COVID, this stuff is just all over the place sometimes.
Oh, yeah, and it's constantly changing. The news is constantly changing. You know, it'll go from, this country's open to then this country has closed its borders again. So things are constantly changing. It's a very fluid situation. So hopefully this kind of keeps you updated.
Yeah, and although things are very fluid, I agree 100%. I feel like we are, it's getting better by the week.
I feel like we're on the uphill, we're
on the come up.
Yes.
It's getting better.
Yes.
It's getting a lot better. And I think I hate to even use the word we're stabilizing or we're things are settling. I think they are. I feel like they are.
It seems that way. I
mean, it's really all of this. The news we have to cover today is just about all good news. There's not
most
much
of it.
grim.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So, one of the first things I want to mention is, when you look at the CDC's website they have different levels of COVID risk for countries, and St. Lucia is on the list as they're not even a level 1, which is the lowest. Well, there's level 1, 2, and 3, and they're not even a level 1, meaning that there's virtually very little risk to no risk, traveling to St. Lucia and getting COVID. And there's several other countries on there, probably like 15 or 20. But one of the reasons I want to mention that is St. Lucia is open and there's actually flights there, because some of these countries that are listed on there that, are no risk, you still can't really get there. So, but St. Lucia, you can.
Exactly. And if you're booking on your own, that's something you need to know, because there are places that might look open and look accessible, but are the airlines going there? Because right now the airlines, they're looking for another bailout. They're having trouble. You have a lot of layoffs going on there. So they're just not running flights to some islands where there's no demand.
Right.
So although, cases might be low and it looks safe to go and everything, you still need a way to get there.
Right.
So we'll see if a second bailout package comes for the airlines. I think it's good for the industry, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, St. Lucia is a place that does have flights. It is accessible, and yeah, if they're not even a level 1, it's a very good place. If you've got some pent-up demand ready to go, check out St. Lucia. And I mean, who doesn't love St. Lucia?
Yeah, if you've listened to our show for a while, you've probably heard St. Lucia talked about a lot. And it's, because we love it.
We love it, and they're very open, and cases are very low, and you can get there.
Yes, and they've been open for several months, and so it's a positive that they've been able to successfully open and stay open and still have, little to no risk of catching COVID when you're there.
Absolutely, yeah. They've been the kind of model citizen, if you will, for all the Caribbean islands on how to handle this. Now, each one, these islands are so different because they vary on hospital sizes and how many hospitals do you have and how many people live there, and there's so much uniqueness from island to island, but St. Lucia really is the gold standard when it comes to how they've handled this. I mean, you got to give it to them.
Yes, I agree. Absolutely.
All right, what's next?
Another news, and pretty cool, is United is going to be the first airline to offer rapid COVID testing from San Francisco to Hawaii.
I love this.
Yeah, and so right now there is a quarantine order in place. If you travel to Hawaii, you have to quarantine for 14 days, and then starting October 15th, and again, this could change because Hawaii has constantly changed what they're going to do. But starting October 15th, you have to have a negative COVID test within 72 hours in order to avoid that quarantine. And so United Airlines is the first one that's going to offer that. So that's pretty cool.
I think that's great. And Hawaii's local economy is probably really getting hit hard. You know, they have the hotel zone, if you will, that hotel area that tourists could go to. Then you have to wear the trackable band, which some people were a little freaked out by. I don't blame them there. But if this trend or this plan of, hey, we're going to test at the airport before you leave can become scaled out, and that can be a model for travel, at least until we get to the pandemic, so you know people arriving to not only Hawaii, but say the Caribbean and say Mexico have done this rapid test and they're negative, that could really open the doors back up to heavy tourism again.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's been a key for me all along. I like the key to this is testing. If you can test fast and test accurately, then you can really control this thing and we can get back to a nice level of normalcy. And we're getting there. I think that's a great sign. United, too, just like I said about St. Lucia, United has really stepped up in this. They have done a fabulous job handling this pandemic. They're one of the first airlines to come out with the new sanitation standards. And now they're the first one to kind of pioneer this testing at the airport. I think it's a really good thing what United's doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
What you got next?
I was going to say,
news anchor, Jana?
in more positive news, there was a study done of a online travel agency, and 70% of their bookings were to Mexico, and that's up 20%. And, you know, we've been to Mexico since they reopened in June, and I've been twice. I went to Cancun and to Cabo, and then we're going to go back to the Cancun area in November. And, you know, I can definitely say we felt very, very safe there. But I would also say that trend is pretty much the same for us as well. Our bookings to Mexico are definitely up 20% because, you know, although a lot more people are becoming open to taking a COVID test before they travel, there's still a lot of people that don't want to have their brain tickled. So
I don't blame them.
Yeah, I don't blame them either. So if you don't want to do that, Mexico is open, and it really is such a fabulous destination.
It really is, but I don't blame them. I mean, I hold no qualms against anyone that says they don't want to go through the rapid test. I mean, tickle me anywhere but my brain.
Well, a lot of the rapid tests are not.
Not rapid tests. You know what I mean? The PCR tests.
Yes.
I mean, the brain is just. I mean, I know it's not really the brain, but
it feels like it feels like they go all the way up there.
I mean, they're feeding it in there like a power line. Like it's never ending. It's crazy. But but it was worth it.
It was worth it.
That's the thing. I'll say that, like, it was so worth it.
Yeah.
It's not comfortable, but 100% worth it if it means that we can travel to some of these beautiful destinations, because who doesn't need a change of scenery right now?
Oh, absolutely. And then
I mean, it's crazy.
There was another study done. It's like the 2020 back to normal barometer, and they surveyed people, and 46% of the people said that if the pandemic ended tomorrow, they would make a large purchase, and 46% of those large purchases would be for a vacation.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's such a refreshing thing to get a change of scenery and escape a little bit. And I think, like, we're so connected to our cell phones. There's news thrown in our face 24/7 these days. And when you travel, especially in a different country, it takes you out of it all.
Yes.
You don't see the local news. You don't see the national news. You don't see headlines flying by. You're on different cell signal. Anything on TVs, sometimes, depending on where you are, it's in a different language. And you're just like, that disconnecting is so good for the mind.
Yes, it's definitely needed.
It's so self-medicating. It's so, productive for when you get back, you become a more productive person from a vacation.
I would agree. And also more positive news. So Las Vegas, I mean, who doesn't love Las Vegas, the adult playground? But in the Las Vegas airport in August saw 1.7 million travelers, which definitely sounds like a lot of people. And that's great. They're still down 61% from where they were in August of 2019. But that was the third straight month that they had an increase in traffic. So that's definitely a positive. I've actually booked several people to Las Vegas in the last few weeks. So, that's, I mean, another great place that you can travel to right now. And
yeah, and I feel very fortunate because there's a few places I really, really, really love. Like when you discuss travel, and I would say Vegas is in that discussion, a place I really love. Mexico, St. Lucia, some of our favorite places are
Jamaica.
Jamaica's one. They're open right now, and Vegas is interesting though because everyone was wondering, like, right when they opened up, they're like, oh, who would go to a casino and touch chips? And like you can see we're normalizing, tiptoeing back out, and people are becoming more comfortable with this as months go on. But I will say this too about Vegas. It is one of our favorite places, and Vegas is one of those places that you can go to in the United States and it feels like you're not in the United States.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know.
Like, I feel disconnected when I'm in Vegas.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's not real life there.
I mean, it is like it's just like you feel like you're not even in the United States. It's in the middle of a desert.
Right.
It's like nothing you'll ever see anywhere else in the United States. It's crazy, but they have some of the best food.
Oh, yeah, best food. And
if you're not a gambler, even if you're not a gambler, you should go look at it and check it out.
Oh, right. I mean, you know, they don't have like all the shows that they, you know, normally have right now. But if you're looking for a relaxing getaway and, you know, you want to go somewhere like hang out by a pool or something like that.
Pools. Their pools are some of the best.
Yeah, and enjoy some great food, then definitely consider Vegas. And a lot of the hotels and resorts there are offering, you know, sales. Like I booked one yesterday, breakfast included, and that's usually not normal. So, yeah, and all the hotel rates are pretty low. So I would definitely consider it.
Yeah, for those that don't want to leave the United States,
yeah.
I think there's a lot of people that are still a little uneasy about international travel. If that's the case, if your comfort level is staying in the U.S., then absolutely I would look at Vegas. And I was actually having a conversation with one of our agents yesterday. We were talking about Gatlinburg and places like that. And I think Asheville, North Carolina is a great place if you live in the Southeast and you want to get a quick change. Check out Asheville, North Carolina.
Yeah, I've actually changed two people that were supposed to travel internationally, one to Mexico, one to the Bahamas for their honeymoon, and they just didn't feel comfortable with going. And so we just booked them at the Grove Park Inn in Asheville.
It's an incredible property.
Yes.
And Asheville, North Carolina might be one of the best kept secrets in the United States. So hear me out here. You've got great golf. You've got breweries. Sierra Nevada's there. You've got wineries.
Yep.
You've got the Biltmore. You've got the mountains. You've got the great climate. And downtown Asheville is very quaint. It is such a quaint little place. A lot of independent restaurants. It is perfect for a long weekend.
Yeah.
Take the family there. And you have a little history, too, with the Biltmore there.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great place. We're going to the mountains this weekend. So
it's great for, we're actually going to be near Asheville this weekend.
Yeah, we'll be about 45 minutes outside of Asheville.
You can track us down.
There you go.
We will say hey.
That's right. So big news coming out tomorrow, or it's supposed to come out tomorrow. The CDC has their no sale order for the cruise lines, and that's set to expire tomorrow, September 30th. So the cruise lines have submitted their plans for reopening and the new safety protocols that they've put in place. So we are anxiously awaiting that decision to see if there will be any cruise lines that actually do sail by the end of the year.
Yes, and the CDC has reviewed plans both from CLIA, which is an organization that represents a lot of both travel agents and also cruise lines, and also Norwegian and Royal Caribbean did their own presentation. They put forth to the CDC a 74-step healthy sail plan.
Yeah.
74 processes they're putting into place from pre-COVID to now to make sure cruising is safe, and they actually presented it, and this was jointly done with government officials and infectious disease experts. So they're going the extra mile, those two brands right there. CLIA also did their own. And, you know, when you look at when it was pushed out, because they had the initial no sale order.
It was initially just through like April 30th, and then it was May 30th, and
it keeps getting extended.
Right.
They haven't extended it yet, and now it's set to expire in the matter of a day. So it feels like they're going to release it. That's what it feels like, because you and I both have seen the plans coming forward for November. There's a lot of planning going on in November for a lot of cruise lines. There's a lot of stuff coming out for November. It just kind of feels like, okay, this is it, right? I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that the sailings in November probably won't happen, but I think a lot of the cruise lines' ultimate goal is to be back in the water for their Christmas sailings, Christmas and New Year's. So I think there's a potential that will happen. I'm not very optimistic about November, and Virgin Voyages just canceled all their November sailings. So we'll see. But, I certainly hope so. Carnival, had to let go 7,000 people within the last week.
That's awful.
Yeah. So, there's so many people globally that, are involved in the cruise industry. And, I think that it's time to get the ships back in the water. I do think that it is time for that.
Yeah, and Europe's been doing it for a little while.
Right,
so
and they've had some success. So.
They've had some success with it. So they're not like a nice little case study on how can we do it. And so we're learning from them and what they've done. And, when it comes to cruise companies, you're looking at Royal Caribbean and Norwegian cruise lines that have put forth this plan with government officials and infectious disease experts. That they're doing everything they can to make it safe. And I know there are some cruise lines going to Mexico or planning to go to Mexico in November.
Yes.
But yeah, let's see.
So, I don't know if that will happen. I actually have several people on the books that are still on the books to cruise in November. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here.
It'll be very interesting. But speaking of cruises, so Oceania, which is a luxury cruise line, they're focused on cultural immersion, in the destinations that you're going, and culinary. They reported their most successful holiday promotion in company history with their Labor Day sale. They had a record-setting bookings, with half of them coming from first-time guests.
Really?
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
That is really good news.
Yes.
Again, we're not normalizing, but we're getting further and further back into that we can travel through this.
Yeah, and I think the pent up demand is there, and so people are planning and booking for 2021, 2022. So it's a great sign.
We were getting stir crazy just after a few weeks in April. We were bursting at the seams to get out. I can't imagine if you have a family and you had to miss your trip and you had one big trip planned. You're ready to roll.
Oh yeah.
And there are alternatives. We want to stress that, but again, it's that personal level of, do you feel safe? We feel safe. We've been to Mexico. We're going back to Mexico for now a third time.
Yeah.
During all of this. And, if you want to talk to someone that's traveled internationally directly to multiple places, Janet's probably one of the perfect people to talk to. So if you're listening to this podcast and you're thinking about getting back out and traveling, if you have further questions, reach right out to us. How can they get a hold of us, babe?
1-800-674-3278. You can give us a call or go to our website, penyaktravel.com, and there is a button right there on the homepage that says request a quote, and that comes directly to my email. Or you can also slide into our DMs on Facebook or Instagram.
Yes, and we're a zero-fee travel agency, so we don't charge fees for our services. We get asked that a lot, so there's no fees for Janet's information, or you can just listen to this podcast, however you want to do it. But we love hearing from our listeners. So many of you guys have hit us up, for trips, and it's been great to hear from you guys lately. So we have a shout out, right?
Yeah, but hold on. 2 more pieces of positive information.
Oh, we're not done yet?
No, not quite done yet. So British Virgin Islands, they are set to open December 1st, and they're very optimistic that will happen because it gives them a full 2 months to, put their new safety protocols in place for tourism. So hopefully that will happen on December 1st. And then also St. Martin, they are open, but they had some kind of strict entry requirements where you had to have a COVID test within 72 hours. And again, it's hard to find that in the U.S., a place that will actually guarantee your results within 72 hours. But now they have relaxed that requirement where it's within 5 days now. And that is pretty doable.
And I think 5 days is still really safe. You're talking about the odds of something happening in the matter of a few days, especially when cases now are lower in the U.S. I think that's reasonable.
Oh, no, absolutely. And then St. Martin also opened their border between the Dutch and the French side. So now you can go back and forth. So, that's another positive sign, that things are getting at least somewhat back to normal.
Absolutely, 100%.
Or at least headed in that direction. Not back to normal, but headed in that direction.
Your request for quotes and trips have just blown up over the last probably what would you say, 2 to 3 weeks, 4 weeks?
Yes.
You've seen a significant spike in it, so people are ready to roll. I don't blame them.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go on another one.
Yes.
There we go.
Yeah.
We're about to go to Mexico again.
Yes.
And it's going to be awesome.
I'm very excited.
Margaritas on the rocks, on deck. You don't like salt on your rim? I love salt on my rim.
Yeah, margarita a day keeps the doctor away when you're in Mexico.
For sure.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, no, we do have a shout out though. Actually, someone who I think listened to the podcast and also YouTube channel hit us up going to Cabo, very last minute trip. So thank you, Robert from Los Angeles.
Shout out LA.
Yes.
I'm not ready to get out of town.
Going to Cabo for the first time.
You'll love it. Cabo is an amazing place.
Yes.
It's an amazing place. And then shout out too, we've got some big news we're going to release probably in a couple weeks. We've got some big news. The company's growing and expanding. I think it's a testament to how we're doing here, but I'm going to hold back because we don't want to announce too much, but big news dropping probably within 2 weeks from now.
All right.
Big Penyak travel news. Dropping bombs.
There we go.
All right, you ready for question of the day?
Yes, I don't even know what it is.
Question of the day. Well,
I rarely do.
I don't even tell you before the show starts. All right.
Sometimes you ask me to pick a number and then you look up a question. Or
I've got a
based
list.
on that
I've got a list of hundreds of questions, and then you just give me a number. But this one I just pulled out on my own.
Oh, okay.
So I'm very curious what you'll say to this.
Okay.
I think I know what you'll say, but you could go any direction here. What's your go-to guilty pleasure?
Go-to guilty pleasure.
Guilty pleasure.
Like what I like to eat?
It could be anything. What do you like to do? What do you like to eat? What do you like? Anything you like that it's a guilty pleasure. It's something that you don't want to do all the time for whatever reason.
Eating pizza, maybe?
But you love it.
Yeah, probably eating pizza.
Pizza? Go-to guilty pleasure?
Yeah, that might be it, I guess. I don't know.
I was going to guess wine for you.
Yeah, or I do like to indulge in wine.
Who doesn't like some good wine?
Yes, we are winos. So yeah, I do. Yeah, that would probably be my second guilty pleasure. Maybe my first, then pizza my second. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be food for me too. I'm trying to think what's a guilty pleasure for me. Yeah, I think what I really, really like, but I hate the feeling afterwards, is my guilty pleasure would be a double cheeseburger.
Oh.
With bacon. I love bacon. Throw the bacon on there. 2 stacks of cheese.
Baconator?
No, I want a nicer burger. I like a nicer burger.
Okay.
But give me the bacon. Give me 2 stacks of cheese. Give me mayo, ketchup, mustard, lettuce, tomato, onion, pickle, with a huge side of sweet potato fries.
Oh, sweet potato fries are very good.
And then a big glass of wine. That's my guilty pleasure.
Wine with the burger, not a beer.
Yeah, not a beer. I like red wine with the red meat. So
there you go.
Yeah, but that would definitely be my guilty pleasure. I don't indulge in it very often because I try to watch that, but that would be my one guilty pleasure for sure.
All right. Sounds very good. I'm actually hungry because we have not eaten breakfast yet. So
yeah, we are super early in the morning.
Yes.
So is that a show?
Well, trip of the week, really quick.
Trip of the week.
Yeah, I do.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we just posted on our Instagram last night about this.
Yes, I do have some travelers headed to French Polynesia, and in a few days from now, 3 days, and I'm very, very excited for them. We had to make some changes because of COVID and Air Tahiti Nui changing their schedules around, but they are set to leave on Friday. And I think they're going to have a fabulous trip going to Moorea and the amazing St. Regis Bora Bora.
Yeah, and you've done such a great job with all these changes. You have really...
Some of them have my head spinning around constantly, but yeah.
Yeah, the changes, they're hard to keep up with, but I mean...
Well, when you have because this travel is not something I do on the side. This is my full-time job.
Of course. Well, this is our company. Yeah.
Yes. And so...
You have a lot of agents out there that just like to do it on the side.
This is my full-time gig. So when I have, at any given moment, I'm working on 20 different, people's trips, trying to get them changed around. At one point, it was a lot more than that, moving several weddings. Yet my head was spinning.
But you do a great job. You're the best at it.
Well, thank you.
You're the best in the game.
I try. I do try.
Well, anyways, we'll call that a show, guys. We love you guys so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. You know how to find us if you want more information. And we hope you guys have a great week, and we'll check you next time.
See you next time.